Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the esports. Sorry, I'm going to mess this up. The esports company High School Valorant League Season 2. I'm Subdan. I'm here with my new friend, Cute Noob. And Cute Noob, why don't you tell us what we got on the bill for today?
Hi guys. So today we have two amazing high school teams. By the way, they are very privileged to be able to do this. We were talking behind the scenes. We were like, "Oh my gosh, I would have loved for something like this to be going on while I was in high school." So talk about #blessed for these students. We have team one will be. Let me pop up my little document here so I don't mess this up. Garnet Valley Jaguars. That
Yes.
includes Frost, High C, Torque, Brisk T, and XQ Rema. And for the team Greater Johnstown Trojans, that will be Baba, Zivaru, Blaze, Amp, and Sacrificed.
Yeah, a wide variety of skill and talent on both of these teams, and it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. We've got kind of a mix between silver to, I'm going to call it silver to diamond on this between the two teams. So this can kind of go either way because this is, as we know, it's Valorant. It's a team game, right? Like you can have a diamond, you can have a radiant, but that's not going to mean anything if the rest of your team doesn't put in the work, doesn't play their roles like they're supposed to. And I'm very curious because these high school teams, this is season 2 for a lot of these guys. Some of them are new, but some of them are returning. So that teamwork may be more important. And I guess we'll finally see the answer. Who is better, a team of silvers or, a diamond carry
Yeah.
in that regard?
Yeah, can a diamond carry? And we're actually going to be visiting Icebox. And we got agent select coming right up. So what are some agents that you want to see on this map here, Zoeb?
So we're going to Icebox. It's kind of non-negotiable. We'll see Viper. If I had to guess,
Mhm.
we might see that Viper Omen combo, that big control space, because there's so much. Like Icebox is huge, right? You just have so much space to control. You kind of need to dip into that double controller. Uh, a lot of people like to play the Sage. Sova's still pretty non-negotiable here, and I think that those are some of the things we might keep an eye out for. But as we get in, like once you get into the deeper picks, if they choose not to go for this double controller, if they look to maybe that double duelist, like Jet's still a pretty good pick. There's a good chance we see a chamber here if someone's feeling confident. It's very likely. Reyna was going to be my next thought because there's a lot of solo carry potential in Reyna, but the problem with that is you don't necessarily offer too much for your team. I expect to see at least one initiator, and Frost has chosen and is looking at the Sova there. I do
Yes.
like that. I kind of could also see Sky or even a KO in the long run, but this looks pretty almost what I would be expecting from this. And on the side of the Greater Valley there, that's about what I expected. This kind of a thing, and the stage wall is going to be very large. I think for especially on the attack where you might want to just wall off and give yourself that angle on those B sites as opposed to fighting your way through A.
Yeah, I mean, the Sage, something that you don't really see that much in high level pro play, is actually going to be coming out here. And I feel like Sage is still valuable as we talk about her because she can hold off a site, hold off a lot of plants, and also hold off mid pretty efficiently, especially with that tube action going down once in a while. People want to get into kitchen and get a little sneaky. But I do like that Zivaru on the side of
Select
Greater
your
Johnstown
agent.
is bringing out the Sky. Like you talked about, having the Reyna is not going to be as beneficial for blinds, right? You need blinds in this game. If you can blind and get information, it's going to be so much info for your team and gives you that little leverage. So the fact that they brought out the Sky, even for both sides, it looks like they decided, you know what, we're going
Yeah,
to
they
go for
opted
that
into it.
Sky. Yeah.
It's
But oh, go ahead. Yes.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's a little hard to get value out of that Sova dart
Mhm.
sometimes, especially if you're trying to push into B. Like you don't necessarily have a great angle to stick it on. So you do get in addition, like you said, the flashes are always going to be valuable. The wolf will always get you value, always at least clear the path. And yeah, I'm not surprised we're seeing a mirror here. This looks pretty par for the course.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, I've been casting this whole weekend, and mirror matchups have been like on point this whole weekend. I think that's like the best way to go is just mirror matchup and hope that you're the better team on the side.
Yeah, but there's also a relevance of comfort picks, right?
Hmm.
There's a chance we'll see that down the line. But while these teams are like this is the meta, this is in theory like what we're seeing in this, there also has got to be some level of comfort on it. We saw Frost looking and eyeing that Sova. That probably was the more common pick for them. You will see Sova in a lot more places. But that being said, they are ready and they're expecting a rush, so they are ready to defend that.
Yeah, I love how there's already a 3-stack over on the site, but it looks like it's going to be a full push from Greater Johnstown here onto a site. We've got the Viper utility holding off just a tad, able to give that rotation a chance to come on over. It's going to be a guiding light, getting him onto site, as well as Snakebite just to hold off that screen push. And it's going to be Torque with that first pick onto Zivaru.
Up with the second one there. They're looking like they're gonna keep pushing. They can't really find those angles though. There is a counter pick though. Amp gonna find 3 and 4, and that just leaves the lone Sage just kind of there for the plant. Will go down, but a 4v1 does not look like a good take.
Yeah, High C has a lot on his shoulders, has a heal and a pistol, able to get that first pick off a sacrifice. It's 3-man standing on the site, and the barrier, just to give him a little peek, is not going to be as efficient as he hoped it was going to be. Fighting off here, Blaze, but it's going to be the peek from Amp that's going to secure that first round for Greater Johnstown.
They committed their money into the buy, which, depending on your view, was either a wise or a bad decision, and it paid off for them. So I think you can roll that a little bit more, try and save up to get your rifles for round 3. Looks good, and they're rewarded for that. As you can see, they're even going to opt, some of them are going to opt up. Baba is going to hold on to that Sheriff, though, and Amp's going to likely buy up also. It'll force the economy back a little bit for the side of Greater Valley, but, you know, that's fine. You're already down a little bit. I think you kind of have to play a little bit more to the information you have available. Though you have the Sky, send out the Wolf, try and get anything, because right now you're stacking A, you're expecting this rush, but you still don't really have much information wise as to where do you have versus what is your opponent taking.
Yeah, and with that weapon advantage, you're definitely looking at a Greaterstown's, I feel like, round. I hate to say that, but when you are at a disadvantage on weapons, it's basically, you know, you're hoping that maybe you can get a weapon off of your enemy team, and that's not going to be the case because Exkurma is going to go down as well as Twerk, and now it's a 3-man for the site. Scratch that, make it 2-man on the side of Garnet Valley trying to defend on a bomb that's already planted. Time is already ticking, Soap.
Yeah, and that's going to be that. Like, Garnet Valley was just unfortunately GG go next for that. Like,
yeah.
When you have the weapon economy, yeah, it's already just, this is normal. This is standard. It happens all the time. Now the game really starts, because now we're going to look and see, you know, who buys up, who opts to play, and are they going to continue to push A? Because they've had 2 successful pushes here at Greater Johnstown. They're looking comfortable controlling this A point and getting the value from it. They are going to hold their mid buy here, and I like that. But a pretty good mix from the side of Garnet Valley gives them a little bit of a weapon advantage. They just need to make the picks happen, because right now Amp is just absolutely running the boards.
Yeah, we talked about how Reyna is a more greedy, if we may say so, agent, because most of her util is for herself, period. But I mean, when you lead the board, I guess that is a-okay.
Yeah, as long as you are, listen, as long as you're getting the value, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter what you're playing. You could be sitting on Killjoy and just getting raw value. You could play Triple Sentinel and get value. As long as the value is there, who's going to really complain? But speaking of value, that is going to be several pieces of value out in that utility to get that spike down, and that's exactly what you want out of that Sage here. Now they have that advantage, and that wall is going to be ready for this retake.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a push from Garnet Valley from CT here, as they are trying to get a pick off here, but Greater Johnstown is just so good at kind of like peeking angles at the perfect time. It is 2-man down, or 1-man down on the side of Greater Johnstown, and the time is ticking. They're not able to find that perfect entry. It's going to be a guiding light to set them off into the site, but unfortunately for them, it's that zoning from Greater Johnstown that's just like not giving them an inch. It's so frustrating watching here.
No, they're playing this very patient game, and that's kind of the thing, right? They're getting with so little utility that they're able to save it for post plant, and that's exactly what they want to be doing. They can save this, they can use the wall to get themselves in, get it down, use the Viper wall that you already had set up anyways, you get it, you might as well use it. And then they have all these Sage flashes to basically just buy the time, buy the space to keep that going, and they don't even really need to get picks. They are conveniently getting picks, but they don't really need to. Greater Johnstown is just buying the space, they're buying the time to get their plants successful, and you know, now they'll buy up because why not? They have the money, and it's going to force this eco again back into Garnet Valley. They're going to need to struggle here, but if they can get any picks and maybe pick something up, this is the chance to do it. And this 5-man rush to A looks like that's going to say no to that.
Yeah, they do have 1 hero weapon on the side of Garnet Valley, and that's going to be on the Jet. So if Jet can take off a weapon off of the hands of Greater Johnstown that might be giving them a 1-up, but it's going to be a full push onto site. They are zoning them off of the site, pushing them off, almost like bullying them off of the site as Reina continues just to push forward. Briss-T, though, able to get that Vandal in his hands, but it's going to be Amp just shutting him down with that Spectre. By the way, Spectre just seems diff right now.
Oh, it's just getting incredible amounts of value. I mean, we kind of joke that the Ares has been the golden child for a little bit in this game, but Spectre has just gotten raw value, and that'll be Excurima falling to that. But you know, going up 4-0 with Greater Johnstown in this lead, they've just been looking very good. They've just shown great control of the space. They're cutting off the angles they want to see. They're controlling these spite lines. Torque has that op in hand now. But meanwhile, Garnet Valley is back in the game economy, excuse me. They have the op. They're going to try to buy this space back. And I think that's the problem, is they need to get more control of the space. They're not really using their utility to prevent any entrances. They're not really trying to deny sightlines. They're kind of just letting them come in for free. So Garnet Valley needs to kind of take and be a little bit more aggressive here. And speaking of that, that's an aggressive shot from Torque, unfortunately not coming up big.
Fortunately, just like you stated, wasn't able to get much value from that, but now they're going to know that there's an operator on A site, and you know, when there's an op, you're like, you know, I'm just going to double think where I want to go, and that is exactly what Greater Johnstown's going to be doing here, as they're going to be heading onto B site, where Viper is the only man on site. Scratch that, there's Kitchen. Briss-T trying to make some value here, but unfortunately that is not the case. Extrema buying some time for his team to rotate over because the spike has fallen. It's going to be Amp with that planned, and also the Empress in hand if they wish to use it.
Find it fascinating that they're continuing to stack where the Sage is. The Sage has the most ability to control the lines and the angles that the opponents can take, and yet they consistently stack on this A with the Sage. I kind of feel like you need to put those resources out there, but that's some good information from that guiding light, and the counter one back will find Frost, so this plant continuing to look better by the moment.
It is indeed. Time is ticking, but Torque finally connecting his shots. Blade Storm coming out because the time is ticking, and you got to make something happen, and yes, sir. Torque able to get that 3K and securing the defuse, finally giving the first point over to Garnet Valley.
You usually kind of hold off on sending the knives out for when you have to like an eco push to get value, but I think that was the right call for them. They really needed something to give themselves an advantage here, and if all it takes is one jet ultimate to turn it and swing it your way like Garnet Valley's just done, yeah, you take that. But meanwhile, with 3 ultimates on the side of Greater Johnstown, they're just looking in a better position, at least in that regard. All it's going to take is one more for the Viper Pit to come out as well, so if Blaze gets a single pick, they're suddenly very, very in a better position to control these spaces and use their ultimates to an advantage, and a tool that, quite frankly, Garnet Valley's just been struggling to build up.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that Spectre on Excurima, who's just the only person holding down B. Those Seekers coming out very early for the side of Greater Johnstown to kind of give out the position of 3 of the members of Garnet Valley. But it's going to be A site that's going to be the site to hit. They know that Torque is there. He has been there for the past 2 rounds, but it doesn't matter because I guess Torque's shots are just hitting.
If that's what they needed to keep themselves going and like get themselves in it, is just getting Torque into the position with an op, like that's pretty good. But meanwhile, there's gonna be some shots. Excurima is gonna find one and they get traded out immediately, and you know, now there comes the rotate. They're gonna come through. They have to get this down as quick as they can, otherwise their time's running out.
Oh, that Trailblazer is going to connect with 2 of the players over from Garnet Town. Torque, those operators just causing so much chaos on the map. There's just 2 members left on the side of Greater Johnstown trying to save this post plant, but that's not going to be the case because Torque is just hitting it. Zivaru trying to make something happen, but Heisey shutting it down and getting the defuse, and it's looking like a comeback here, Soab.
Yeah, and they are going to grab the op and try and save that. They know there's value to be had from keeping that in Torque's hand. And Torque has kind of been the defibrillator for this team right now. You can see it going up 7-4, having a quiet start to this game, but is finally coming back into it. Now the pendulum swinging back the other way, guns full on both sides, ultimates pretty much even too. They spent a couple for the Greater Johnstown to get it and didn't get the value of it. And that's the kind of value you need to deny, right? If you can prevent the value from those ultimates, you can keep yourself in this position to, you know, swing this back your way, get some wins, keep the economy on your side, and then continue to keep these rolling.
Greater Johnstown is going to have to be very careful of Torque. Something that we've mentioned before is the fact that Garnet Valley is a diamond to gold team, or actually silver. They have a silver member, and it's Torque, the one that is carrying his team. We asked, is the diamond player going to be able to carry out his team? And so far, it has proven that that is the case. But we are on to the next round, and the bomb is planted, and now it's time to play post plant here for Greater Johnstown.
No, and they're going to commit the Viper's Pit too on the side of Greater Johnstown, just to try to keep that space controlled, just like they've been doing so well before. Going to try to just chip away and get themselves access to it, and Blaze in full control of this, knows exactly where they are. Is that they try to take the space. Baba will find one, and they need to make a move here. It's got to come in. No, and that's going to be the attackers. Greater Johnstown coming up big for that push, getting full value out of that ultimate.
Yeah, Viper's Pit is such a scary ultimate to go into. It almost feels like Halloween every time you're in a Viper's Pit.
Yeah, it is the most dangerous place for a reason, and there's a reason you don't ever want to go into it. It's even worse if you know that there's a shotgun lurking, right? Because all it takes is just one wrong turn, and suddenly you just got blasted in the face with a judge, and you have no idea where it came from. But with that tool out of their hand now, they have to contest with Torque in this operator, because that's still now available. So now if they can control, they have to get these sight lines out of Torque's hands. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to keep these pushes as successful.
Oh, we got that jiggle peek coming up from Amp. Beautiful jiggle peek, gonna be sectioned off, but no sacrifice. Is speaking at the wrong time and gets caught up by Torque. Now you know that there's an operator and an operator that can hit, so you're gonna want to reposition, and just like that, Greater Johnstown's gonna be heading over onto mid. They have a cloud here that they're going to be able to walk through, and kitchen is going to be their under kitchen is going to be where they want to go.
Yeah, they're going to try and push and rotate through, and they've had the space. Garnet Valley has never really contested them in the space game until the post plant. So if they can continue to do this again, and Extrema is going to find one, but it can immediately trade out. And yeah, it didn't go down. They're going to try and get it, but if they can take the space back, they will continue to turn these games around. But watch that angle. There's an open hole there if you aren't paying attention.
Oh, Seekers though able to find one. Bristy able to secure Baba down. It's going to be Frost fighting with Zibura, but that's the better Sky at this moment. Zibura very low on health though. Torque just being a menace down mid, and his Blade Storm also comes down once more. Only one member in the side of Greaterstown, but it's a Sage Wall that's going to secure this defuse. If Blaze doesn't play his cards right, but Blaze, wow, so patient and able to use the rope there. So the rope never works that way for me, by the way.
No, never does. But that's why you have to watch your Sage Walls, right? If you put it in the wrong positions, if you can block off the ropes, then you have that in your advantage. It's interesting. They've chosen these angles for that. Typically, you kind of just see the right angle come out to try to buy the space. You don't have to worry about that. Cut the sight line off entirely. But it's worked out for them for the most part. So I can't even sit here and be like, it's a bad decision. It's been working out fine for them. They just need to continue to do that. And with ultimates about even too, but the eco in the favor of Greater Johnstown, it's very looking like there could be an aggressive take, but this aggressive Torque play may just get punished. Does barely get out with their life, and they may regret that later on.
Oh, absolutely. It's still going to be an A push because there is a man very low on the site. Guiding Light, though, going to heal off Torque, and now it's still not a full take on for Greater Johnstown onto A. It's going to be Amp with the first pick on Brisk a T. That Empress is out to play here. So bad.
And it's not finding any value yet, but the spike will go down eventually, and that'll be a double swing. Unfortunately, not getting any value, and that just leaves the lone Viper to come in and try and make this transition. Does come out and does not, and gets immediately forced out, and that's that round. 7-2 as we move towards this half. It is not looking good for Garnet Valley. They are just struggling to get any sort of value, and there's a lot to say about that, because 7-2 is a pretty good run.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been some rounds that have been very close for the side of Garnet Valley, but I feel like they're putting too much pressure on Torque to be their player to cause some chaos, and it's when that chaos happens that they have found themselves succeeding. But there's only so much that one player can do, and it's gonna have to be up to Garnet Valley's team to kind of pick up the slack where Torque can't make things work. And as we see, he is the first man being picked off here.
Yeah, Sacrifice gonna make sure there is a sacrifice out there, and gonna force out the Viper's Pit on the side of Garnet Valley, and they know that's their cue to get out of dodge and keep rotating, but will get picked on the side of Blaze. And I gotta say, with that res coming back in, Do they are they aware? Do they know that the rotation's coming? They have to know by this point. And they're starting to realize no one's coming, and they will get it back to even.
Oh, that Sage wall blocking off mid. High C knows that there's someone in the shadows gonna be taking out Sacrifice. That operator is no longer in play. Man advance. Actually, it's an even man here, but the bomb is gonna get planted onto B site, and the action's gonna be happening in kitchen. Somebody's making a sandwich. Who's gonna finish it off?
They've got control of this, and you know that Viper wall constantly been in that position, has not gotten as much value as you'd like on the side of Garnet Valley, and there's got to be a point where maybe you consider holding it instead of just keeping that pressure down. Baba will find Frost and a second in High C, and they will continue to keep their run going on the side of Greater Johnstown.
Oh man, what do you do here, Soab? I mean, you've got economy on your side, you even have ultimates on your side, and your Reyna is just popping off.
So I think you need to make a change. Extruma's Viper wall has just been kind of put up constantly in the same spot, has not gotten value. You've seen them push at this point consistently, at least to start. Even if they don't finalize it there, they at least start looking there and then move out. And I think you at some point kind of need to move your resources more towards A to defend it. Otherwise, you're just going to leave yourself vulnerable for these rotates and and force yourself into these retakes. And you've kind of shown, as immediately Sacrifice finds Twerk again, you just can't really. You're struggling on these retakes, so you need to play to a more aggressive, and that will be again an early spike down with that Sage wall. Again, just because they have these free lines, they're just able to get it down.
Yeah, it's really hard for the side of Garnet Valley, especially as they're jiggle peeking onto Amp, who has not missed a shot. It's going to be a hard retake here. There's 3 men standing for the side of Garnet Valley. We still have a lot of util, though, if they wish to use it. But Zivaru just playing that high angle and able to pick off 2. And just like that, 9-2. Do you believe in a curse, Oki? Do you believe?
I mean, I don't know. Call it what you will. But you know, when you've run your plans and you've run them into the ground and you've run your set plays and they haven't really worked, you kind of got to change something. And again, you can see it. They're setting up. They're kind of defending. Like, I don't know at what point do you stop defending B entirely, because you know they're not necessarily pushing it. You kind of just let them. Like, if they want to take B at this point, I would say just let them have it for free and play the retake. Like, put your resources into defending A where you know they've constantly been going. At a minimum, they set up this Viper wall all the time, and that's a first pick. These 2 Jets are just going to keep trading back and forth all the time, and that's going to be a sign for them to know now they've already got an advantage, and now they know what they can just do what they want.
Yeah, but it's going to be Xkurma who's going to be getting that first initial action here. As we see, Amp's gun, though, is just that much better. His aim is just crispy clean. And it's going to be an 2 men down, actually, for Greater Johnstown. This is going to be the first time that Garnet Valley is going to have that man advantage on retake. And just as I say that, Blaze just being sneaky and getting that pick off of mid. It's a 3-on-3 guiding lights to start the party, as well as that Lear, but no man was caught with the guiding light. It's going to be a push onto site. A Trailblazer also coming out from Frost here, but the Viper's pick going to be put into action just to secure that it's a 10-2 for the next half.
I mean, they need to secure something. Like, they want to go into this and they want to close it out as quick as possible. It's best of 1. It's better to go home and go early than it is to let them have a chance to come back. Attacking Icebox can be difficult despite what Greater Johnstown's made it look like. So if you get a team that knows how to defend it well, you can easily lose a lead like this. I can't even say that this is a lead that they can blow, but I will say that there is still a chance. 10-2 is a rough looking spot for Garnet Valley. But if there's ever a time to flip it back and take it to your side, now is the chance. You just have to play your game and set yourself up for the success that you want. And I'm very curious to see how they think they want to do that, because Greater Johnstown found so much success on A attacking. They may do the same. They may look to defend A, they may continue to defend A stronger, and you can see it on the other side. They're just going to kind of leave the Viper isolated to control that.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be Garnet Valley that's going to want to hit that B site. I don't know, maybe they're trading off. Maybe B site is their it site. As we can see, they're just going to full W key it onto here, but it's Blaze who has most of his utility already down, ready to take this fight. And yes, his shots connect onto Twerk, the leading player on the side of Garnet Valley. So you already down 1 man, and it's your best man, so that's already looking rough.
when you look at Viper as kind of a sentinel controller hybrid who literally has to kind of slow the game down and make it difficult to get in for these shots. Oh, Zivaru absolutely just going to clean that up, though. Oh, it was beautiful. Like, anything I said was irrelevant. Looking for that fourth. Oh, so close. They won it. Zivaru's looking for it. There's the fourth. Easy clap, just like that.
Oh my goodness, there was no chance to play there whatsoever, Soab.
No, they absolutely... Zivaru was not having that, and that's... Again, that's that space control, right? No one was looking up. No one was looking for that. All the angles weren't quite covered, and they were just looking to close this out here. They can smell the blood in the water. They want more, and you know, you gotta say, like, Garnet Valley has not played bad. They've just unfortunately just been outplayed.
Yes, the skill disparity can be very seen. Yes, they have a top player, but I mean, one person can't carry. That's the thing about Valorant is it depends. It's a team game, right? So you got to rely on your teammates. And if your teammates aren't doing as spicy as you want them to do, then it kind of just goes down. And just like that, Amp taking off Xkurma, but Torque able to secure one. So
Ooh.
Zivaru's shots, though.
Zivaru's coming to life in the start of this half. Unfortunately, not going to be able to carry the rest of the way, but looking for more. That's going to be the cloud smoke coming out. Just going to find it. Zivaru falls, but is immediately traded, and that'll be the cleanup there for the side of Greater Johnstown, bringing that up. And now it's match point. I mean, what's the call here, Cute Noob? What do we do?
You do whatever you can at this moment, just like we see their weapons. You have a Marshall, you have a Spectre, and even, I mean, Frost is the only man able to secure a full weapon here. But Frost is 1 in 13, and that's your Sky, and you're hoping that your Sky can do a little bit more at this point, especially as an initiator. You're hoping that they can create some space as well as your duelist, but that's not the case, and I think that's where kind of things are a little bit crumbling for the side of Garnet Valley. I do like this mid push, though. It's different.
Zivaru, unfortunately, not happy with that mid push, so we'll find Torque immediately, and I think that's kind of going to start to spell the downfall here.
Downfall indeed. You never want to see, something like this, but that's okay because this is a learning. You never lose, you just learn. And I hope that Garnet Valley has learned something out of this. They're still fighting, as you can see, Amp being taken down. That is a very important pick for the side of Garnet Valley, but Baba able to take down Brisky. And the bomb's just down in Kitchen here, being held off by just 2 members of Johnstown, and just like that. So, match.
Yeah, that's match 13-2, and Garnet Valley having a rough start to the season, needless to say. Unfortunate, but the Jaguars, it's still early. This is game 1, and worst case scenario, now you know what one of the top teams in this kind of a division looks like, right? Greater Johnstown looked very clean. They looked very crisp, and you can see it. Torque putting in a lot of work, but the rest of the team there just kind of at the bottom, unfortunately, for Garnet Valley, just kind of bottoming out the scoreboard. And you gotta at least get, as we kind of talked about, we've got the answer now. You gotta get the team element together. This is a team game, 5v5, and you can, if you're gonna play with those kinds of like single man carries, you got to be able to put the resources in, and unfortunately the resources just weren't there for the side of they just weren't there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a team game. Zivaru and Blaze even sacrifice that double digits. That just leaves your team feeling alarmed, but like you said, it's not over quite yet. They still have more matches to play, and with that, we're going to take a quick break. After that, we will bring you match 2 of the day. So go grab a snack, and we'll see you back shortly.
Castles and dragons, the battle begins tonight. Are you with me? This is our kingdom, and we won't run tonight. We are a team. Castles and dragons, the battle begins tonight. Are you with me? This is our kingdom, and we won't run tonight. We are a team. We can do anything together if we just try. And as long as we have our backs whenever our foes come by. This time we will win. This time we'll have to join forces. This time to join forces.
Hello, guys, and welcome back. We just saw Garnet Valley Jaguars versus Greater Johnstown Trojans, and it was the Trojans who came out on top with a definite 13-2. Zivaru, as well as Amp being one of their top players. But we are moving on to the next game, which is going to be Bishop Roll Huskies versus Somerset Golden Eagles. Why don't you take us through the team names here? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Over on the Golden Eagles, we have Hi Boy, we have your boy Zook, Maleb, Eric Great, and Glitching Out. Meanwhile, over for the side of the Huskies, we've got Shaq, Lukey, Skagood, Italian's Chemo. I don't know why I looked at that wrong. That's weird. And Boy Hockey God. But we've got quite a bit of unknowns here. We were kind of looking through some of these players. We've got a bunch of unranked. So this could be anything from fresh players into the game who just wanted to pick it up and try it, or it could be someone just looking to hide a high-end account. Who knows? But I'm very curious to see, because this is quite a lobby. We've got a mix of everything from Iron all the way up to Immortal. So this is going to be, I don't expect anything lopsided, but I expect it to be quite an interesting game here, because there's still two different ends of games you play when you're playing Immortal and when you're playing Iron, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a toss up. And with that, we are going to see this toss up happen in Ascent, a map that we haven't quite yet seen. But what are some team compositions that you want to bring out here?
I mean, you want to bring out the Astra here. There's this is a huge map. There's so much space you need to control. Astra is great at that. It's kind of been the other go-to controller when you go to that. Killjoy also very, very good for locking down that B site. You can usually just leave her alone, let her set up the utility, and she'll slow up, if not stop, pretty much any entrance. Sova's probably likely to make an appearance here too, because now you've got those open skies to rain those arrows down from. And then the rest of it's probably just going to be, as I was told back in the day, she loves you. Yeah, yeah. We'll see Jet. We'll see probably something else. The Neon, however, is something I was kind
Oh,
of looking at. I kind of alluded to this in the break and was thinking, what are the odds we see a Neon? Because that's great to just get yourself through mid without a problem, or to change those sight lines. And as much as I was thinking we might see these Killjoys, we are seeing these Sages again and Omens. So shame on me, I guess.
hmm.
I'm sorry. My meta knowledge comes strictly from Japan, so forgive me. I'm a little bit out of the loop here.
You got to come into that NA meta. Even in NA, though, we don't see an
Yeah.
Omen. We usually see an Astra, but you know what? This is just a different type of
Oh yeah.
breed here as they bring out the Omens. I am an Omen main myself, so I know how useful Omen could be
Yeah.
on this map if played just quite right. But I do like the KO coming out from the side of, this is going to be, yeah,
That is
Somerset
that
Golden
is Somerset. Yeah.
Eagles.
The other
So,
thing worth noting, the other thing worth noting really quickly, chamber. We were kind of
mhm,
talking about this of
mhm.
what do you want to do with a chamber? Does someone feel good enough to like take up that role? Because chamber is tough. That's something with a lot of reliance on aim. So you're really Eric Great must be really feeling themselves if they think they can hold down whatever site they're on. And that double sentinel is actually a cool look. It's opposed to like worrying about rotating and those retakes. Your goal is to try to stall out both of those sites long enough for your retakes to come, like it's for your team to get over there to set up those angles and to buy that. And I like that. It's an interesting look. I'm used to seeing a lot of double initiators here, like a
Mhm.
breach Sova, but I like that. That's a cool take, and I'm very curious to see what that does for Somerset, especially because they're attacking first. So on the defense, we'll have to see, but I'm curious to see what it does for this attack.
Yeah, this is it's an experimental composition for both sides. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you have some agents, like you mentioned, the Jet, but it's going to be the action starting off into B site. It's going to be spotted out by that flashpoint though, so they're going to be taking it a little bit slower than they'd like here.
Yeah, but now that you know the KO is in play and you're biting that out, because there is the rotation. Spike is moving over to A, so as long as Spike goes over to A, you can kind of still fake that out. And there's that counter rotation coming in. Now it's going to be left alone. They're going to try and fake this and get that. And your boy is going to get one, but immediately find a trade back out. And meanwhile, over on A is where the real game is happening. The 900 IQs are happening, and there's the rotate.
Yeah, that A site's gonna be the A site, and they're gonna get it for free, which we all like. Free is amazing
Yeah.
here. Sage getting that plant to already start off her resurrection nice and early, but it's gonna be Malev who's gonna be pushing out very aggressively onto CT here. It's gonna be Shaq versus Malev. Eric in the shadows as well, ready for the rotation happening here. Eric knows exactly where Neon is. It's gonna be that right click to start it off.
Yeah, just buying that out, but we'll get traded immediately. So 2v3, still not an impossible, and there is the Omen there's Omens on both sides to buy some space, but Malib is going to get healed up as immediately falls back there, and the more they can buy this space away is going to be better for them on this plant.
The time is ticking. Only 2 men left alive, just like you stated. There is a smoke here on the hands of Italian boys Schemo, but that's not going to happen since the time has just run out, and it's just going to be a save round or going for exit frags here.
And nothing exciting there. I mean, this is round one, right? Like most people are just playing classics. There's nothing exciting really going on. We do see both those sheriffs going on, so they wanted to try to play those up for the side of the Somerset Gold Eagles. And you know what? You've got the advantage. You know, there's a lot of contest. You know, do you buy up? Do you just try and save for rifles in round 3? Do you continue to roll? And there's no wrong answer. As long as you can continue to win, that's the only right answer, is whatever's going to help you win. And they're 5 stacking B here, but I have a feeling it's going to be that same kind of a play as last time, where they're going to set up this B push and then immediately kind of fake it out, especially with that wall there.
Well, with that wall, it's going to be holding them off, buying them time for the rotation to happen early. As you can see, Neon's already getting really aggressive on the flank as well as the Omen onto mid. Just buying enough time here for their team is going to be the Bishop Carroll. Chico peeking, maybe trying to get something here.
Seeing what's checking it out. There's no real information gained. The only initiator on the field and the only real way to get information is KO. And with that knife gun, there's really not much of a way. So that's kind of going to be it. Is that smoke comes out there? They want to enter. They want to get in here, and they've done so pretty successfully.
They have indeed. Skagudo able to get one, but Haibu is going to be the one taking 2 souls off of the map. The bomb is going to get planted onto site, and it is now Bishop Carroll now in a pickle to try to get back into that site with the weapon disadvantage.
3v4 doesn't make it impossible, but just as I say that, it's now 1v4, so now it's looking a little bit more impossible, and not much really to save for Italian Schemo, so might just try and get out of alive, maybe try to make an exit pick on the way out. It's kind of a tough spot. They've long since been in. But I will say it is far between me to not see the old Sova with an Omen, Sova with an Odin, as we kind of gotten used to seeing on these B sites to hold these down. So we'll see if anybody decides to pick up that. And Italian Schemo does want to go in, but never mind. And that will be the 4th for High Buoy. And High Buoy is looking really good as we've come to life that round and has put themselves at the top of the board here.
I mean, it's no surprise that we did kind of take a peek at the ranks, and that is the Immortal player, believe it or not, on the side of Somerset. So I feel like we kind of expected him to be there, Soab.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you were to tell me otherwise, if you were to tell me the Jet Immortal was at the bottom, I might look a little strange. I would think maybe there's a couple Radiant players, but with that in mind, it's going to be a kind of a mixed buy for the side of Bishop Carroll. Maybe just funds didn't quite make it, but they are going to go with what they've got, as their economy is a bit hurting, and it's going to open up with this mid push, kind of leave themselves a bit open.
I do like the aggression. I mean, mid is such a hard place to get into your side if you are on the attacker side. It's very valuable, as you can see, because you could get right into B and take off a pick there as Hockey God goes down. It's only 1 man left on site. Lukey trying to make something happen, and just a ghost in hand though is going to make it very rough, and High Boy just taking souls left and right.
No, and meanwhile there's not been a single drop for the side of the Gold Eagles, and they've kind of just had control of this. They've been patient. They've been waiting for this. They've sent out, they've got control of this, and with a 5v2 on those plant, it's going to be tough, especially with both of those Sentinels now in position. And that, well, there's the slow from the chamber, and that'll be even easier to figure out where they're coming from.
We got the Neon though getting aggressive in garage, but little does it. Check your corners, please. No,
always check those corners. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yep, there's the lesson for today, kids. Check your corners. Doesn't matter what position you're in, where you think you're going. Just check everything. You never know who's posted up somewhere.
Yeah, especially a lurking Reyna there with a sneaky Spectre in hand. By the way, the Spectre has been doing work throughout these past few games, Soap.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice mid-range option. The accuracy that you kind of expect from something like a Phantom or a Vandal, without the loudness of the the LMGs, and it's just good. Like, unless you're going into short range where you might want to take like a shotgun, it's just a good mid-range option. But speaking of a mid-range option, that's going to be Hibui, just opening it right up and diving right into the point, going deep.
Oh, he's full on site. No fear in sight for Hiboi. Now onto it, pushing off to CT where Lukey's holding it with a Vandal, hoping I guess the spray just didn't go through that smoke, but finally able to take off Lukey. It's going to be Neon and a Dream here as Shaq tries to make something happen, but Hiboi is just too good.
Just absolutely built differently in this moment, as it were. And 9-1, we were kind of like, let's compare this to last game, right? Because we were kind of talking about what do you do if you have someone who is who's like a carry player, who can do that. And this is exactly what we were kind of talking about. Somerset is putting their resources into Hiboi. They know that he can pop off, click these heads, and get everything ding. And you can see their economy's in a good condition, but everybody's willing to make the space and play so that Hiboi feels comfortable to move in, initiate, and then everybody else is following up appropriately. That's exactly what you want to do when you know you have a carry person on your team.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing that might even be your IGL. So using their knowledge as your own actually really helps out. As you can see, those smokes go off into heaven and Tree Room, giving them enough space just to fully take it onto site. And Hiboi able to take down the player onto Generator. Now gives you a free sight. Neon trying to make something happen. A Spectre in hand, but the Spectre doesn't work quite as good in the hands of Neon there as he goes down. And now it's a 3-man retake on the side of Bishop Carroll as they're trying to make something happen.
No, and you can see him trying to play up from hell just to try to buy them space, and they are doing so. But that'll be an Ares kill picking up, kind of the other point, and Luki will fall to again through the wall. And 3v2 on this retake, probably not looking good with that last one falling down. Just the Sage available, no real resources in hand. Maybe you just take the save here for your Bishop Carroll. Your economy's kind of in a rough spot, and it's probably not worth it. You've already lost. Yeah, get the save, get out of there. You live to fight another day. Live on, Brave Sage. You gotta mom the team for the next round.
That's so true. You got to take your dubs where you can get them, and that's going to be the save for the Sage over on Bishop Carroll. It's a 5-0. Do you know if they are allowed to take a timeout?
I mean, they probably could take a timeout, and you might want one to just kind of tactically reset that. Yeah, if you need one, because this is a tough spot. Like Bishop Carroll, the Huskies probably just need a moment to reset. You've got the resources in hand, and I think you just need you're a little scrambled and like frazzled by this, I think, at this point, considering how well they've been executing. So a tactical timeout wouldn't be the worst thing, but instead it looks like we're just gonna see this big stack over on B, hopefully trying to take that space and just rush themselves right in.
Yeah, no timeout like we suspected, but it's going to be the sneaky Neon playing in the corner. But I think they know here, Soab. They know.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the Shack going to go down.
Yeah, that's, again, check your corners, and that's what happens when you do. You find one, but Italian Schemo, unfortunately, will get checked themselves. And with Maleb getting that plant down, it's going to be a 5-3 going in for this retake.
Oh man, bodies just dropping left and right. It has been a struggle for Bishop Carroll to hold down a site, period. I feel like they might be giving up a little too much. What do you think, Soab?
Yeah, it's tough. You really can't afford to give up a lot of space. Like, you're putting the Sage over on B, assuming that there's going to be this B rush, and like that's the most easiest spot to defend with a Sage, which instinctively looks good, but it's equally as easy to just shut off A and do that. So maybe you need to play a little bit more spread out. Maybe you need to kind of call. There could be some communication issues even where the rotations just aren't coming through. But now that their economy is back in this order, you know, Luki's sitting here with an op. They think they can defend on that. And now they've kind of given up mid for free. And I think that's just because they don't expect they haven't seen a lot of pressure from there. But if they're just going to give this up for free, that may be a punishment to them, because then it suddenly opens up the whole map.
Yeah, he leading the pack over onto mid. The market door was closed, but it's going to get destroyed now. It's going to be finally Skagu able to get down, glitching out off of the map. So you're not going to have a Sage, you're not going to have a barrier, you're not going to have the slow orbs, which could be in favor of Bishop Carroll.
Yeah, and that's going to be Shaq just trying to draw some attention on that long flank. Now they've got him a little bit surrounded. The rotation's coming through, and this is exactly where you want them. You have the ability to do that. Luki is going to find their counterpart there. So the one true Jet reigns supreme for the time being, but as those flashes come out, they're going to try and push, and this is where it's going to get rough.
They are pushing indeed. Tree Room, they are kind of cornered as you have stated, but unfortunately the weapons are going to be in the favor of Bishop Carroll for finally the first point on the board, a very much needed round here. So
yeah, they've been giving up a lot of this space for free, and this is kind of the struggle with the double Sentinel comp, right? You can only control the space that's in front of you, so if you can tell that they're pushing mid and you have this ability to push around them, that's what you get. You take advantage of the space, suddenly you have these angles, these crossfires, and you've given yourself an ability to, you know, you can out mind game somebody, you can't always outshoot somebody, but if you can just give yourself those better angles to do that, you can get yourself a win, and that'll put Bishop Carroll on hopefully the start of a rollback.
They do have those weapons in their advantage now, but it's going to be the Neon aggression that's going to get punished here. Shaq goes down to Malev, just peeking at the wrong time, and unfortunately gets caught out. They are going to officially get this A site for free once again, like we were talking about previously, Soab, and this might become another loss for the side of Bishop Carroll if they aren't able to retake together here.
Yeah, retakes have been a struggle, but that's going to be a flash going out. They're going to try and push this retake. And this is right. They need to take it from multiple angles. And now that they're doing that, they're looking good. Eric will find the first, though, to open it up. And now that the sight lines are there, they know that they're closing in. And again, not really able to find it. But the longer this continues to tick, the less time they have for this retake.
Absolutely, and the usage from Somerset is just too pretty, but Italian Schimo's kills are just going to be a lot better, but he's going to be taking that out, and it's just left once again to the Sage to have to save for her team.
Yeah, it's just been a tough place. You're giving up a lot of these sites for free. I don't know if the utility just isn't coming down quick enough. There's kind of almost a need to play preemptively here. You kind of need to guess a little bit more where they're coming from and do that. And you have a little bit of that, but you either kind of need to full in and play to prevent and slow up these pushes, or you need to just give it up and play the retake. You haven't had a lot of success in these retakes if you're Bishop Carroll. So maybe playing a little bit more aggressively, not as aggressively as unfortunately Shaq has been getting punished for at 0-8. But you know, I respect the moxie of that because there is something to be had for just raw aggression.
Sometimes it just quite isn't it. Like Lukey peeking mid and getting caught out by the Jet once more. And now, once again, Soab, man disadvantage for the side of Bishop Carroll.
And not just man disadvantage, but also just gun disadvantage and the several. I mean, thankfully they do have some ultimates on their side, and that is going to be the Neon ult committed. Looking in, just trying to buy that. Trying to buy some damage in, trying to see if they can get some value out of these beams, but they're still hesitating. They're waiting. They're patient. Somerset Golden Eagles looking very good. They're just going to wait out this ultimate, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Yes, Neon's ult is one of the, I want to say like second scariest. We were talking about the Viper ult being one of the scariest. This has got to be the second scariest. But that's going to be a rotation for the rest of the team of Somerset, but the bomb is still looking over on A site here, Soab.
Yeah, they're trying the old bait and switch, and that is going to be looking for one. Meleb will find Skago, but that will be something. They're going to try and prevent that from getting out. I think they're gonna bait the resurrection here. They're gonna try and bait it. Pre-fires and does find it. That's some, you know, it's a bold play, but does find Shaq. And with that player down, that's basically it. They just got to get bombed down. And now that A site's free, never mind, they don't even need it. But you know, it was free, and Somerset just continuing to run away with it.
I mean, economy-wise, yes. Bishop Carroll is able to buy this round, at least for the most part. As we can see, Italian Schimo, you know, 1,200, it can't buy you a lot, unfortunately. Probably a Spectre in hand along with the rest of your team. But throughout it all, I feel like Bishop Carroll maybe needs to work a little bit more on their economy.
Yeah, I mean, money can't buy you love, but also really can't get you any guns in this game, unfortunately. So they're going to go with this kind of mixed match of just whatever they can get. And again, they're just going to try and they're committing the Sage Wall to B, and they've consistently done it expecting this push. And once again, they're going to be surprised when they see just this push onto A site that's been holding strong. So Bishop Carroll's going to need to keep their eyes and ears open. They need to be a little more patient with their plays.
Out of charges.
Yeah, that A site is going to be the it site as the Omen Smokes commit onto heaven. It's going to be Lukey peeking out just at the wrong time, and Hiboi is going to take him down. Now, once again, man disadvantage. Although something different's happening here, Saboy. It's going to be the lurk from KO happening from Cat here.
I do like it. There's those chamber ultimates that they're going to run into, though, so they will spot it out. And Shaq just trying to get some sort of information. This is why you want something like a Sova or something like that. The KO is good for stopping in your pushes, but it's going to be tough when you got to figure out where's your retake coming. Meanwhile, all 5 are on site, and this KO flank has to come in from around. Maybe just try and get an exit pick at this point because there's not much value they can get. And as I say that, there goes the rest of Bishop Carroll, unfortunately. And the Huskies go down again, 9-1.
It is looking very rough if you are a fan of Bishop Carroll. You talked about it time and time again, Soab. Switching things up, right? You need to switch things up. You
Yeah.
can't constantly hope that it's going to be a B push. You know that they've been hitting mid. You know that they've been hitting A. They've been hitting A for, I want to say, maybe 7-8 rounds in a row.
Yeah, at least.
So you got to switch something out, but it looks like they're not going to be switching that Sage. That Sage is a B player till the end.
I respect that. I respect that tenacity. You know what? Like, if one of the times when they're right, it will work. And you know what? Even a blind squirrel can find a nut one day. So now that they've realized there's nothing coming, the rotation will come through. But the counter rotation's already in process. They know they've pushed it. They can see it coming. They already have control of mid. And this has been kind of the story of this game, right? Control of this mid has been so important. It's constantly gone to Somerset. So boy, just kind of keeping an eye out and does see it, and it will immediately find the boy hockey god. Unfortunately, this isn't hockey, unfortunately. So not quite carrying those skills over here.
No, indeed. It's going to be a market to be site. Though Italian Schemo does have a pretty good angle, but unfortunately the Lear is going to bait him out into shooting and giving away his position. Zook as well with that operator. He's going to get punished for pushing onto stairs there. It's going to be 2 onto CT, and Jet's going to be the lurk here coming out.
Those Omen smokes have to be recharged by now, but Italian Schema will find one, and that is an opening push to take this back, as it's 4v4, and just as I say that, the trades come out. So now it's in there, and your boy Zook will find one, picking up that Odin to try to get value, and unfortunately, it's just enough value for Somerset to bring it on to a 10-1 lead.
Last round before the
10-1 last round in the half here, Soab, and I guess we have to talk about the man in the room.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah.
22-0. Like, what else can you want from a Jet?
Yeah. You know, it's hard not to talk about that when you are actively, because that's 20 is more than the entire other team combined. It feels bad to say that, but Kiboy is just absolutely looking good, and there's going to be a chamber ult. I think that's the first time we've seen that all game too. Hasn't needed it, but might as well at this point, as this B push looks good.
The B push is finally going to happen for the Sage. Let's see what he can do as they go onto site. Jet, a shorty, and a dream in hand, I'm sure, has the operator in the back pocket. And it's going to be the tour de force for Chamber happening down mid. But Malev being able to pick off that first kill on Luki.
It's all but here. Skagood's just going to try and use their utility, buy him some space, and that'll be all she wrote for that. So, you know, I really wanted to see, I'll be honest, I really wanted to see more of this double sentinel defense. I really wanted to see what Somerset could do with this, because they've looked very good. And unfortunately, it's just been all in attack. I really wanted to see more of it. I guess I'll get a round of it, you know, a round or two of it, which I guess I'll be happy for. But I was very curious to see what this chamber pick was here for. So I'll take this for what I can. And you know what? Maybe the Huskies just have a better attack plan looking. They seem like they know what they want to do here. So maybe this is the start of something back. There's still time. It's not over just yet, but
And we're hoping here. Yeah, we're hoping the pistol round goes in their favor. Then they get the bonus round, and then the third round will really tell.
oh yeah.
At the set of it, if things go right for them. But no, Hibu already picking off Shaq over at mid, as well as Luki. Oh, Luki, though, gets that trade off of Eric over in Garage, putting him at an even man advantage here. But it's going to be the aggression from Hibu here onto Tiles that's going to get Luki caught at the wrong time.
Nah, the dash wasn't there, but this is over on the side of glitching out there, the Sage over on the A side. That's exactly what I was hoping we would see from the side of the Huskies. I was kind of hoping we'd see this Sage to slow it down. That's exactly why you play the Sage with those slow orbs. But meanwhile, glitching is going to get that and take Skagu out, and it is looking very, very good for the defenders.
Yeah, talk about a Jet playground. Jet just doing Jet things, bouncing around left and right. Schemo trying to make something happen. Oh, but look at this interaction down mid here.
Ooh.
Oh, boy, hockey god. got timed just a little too hard, and that is the first pistol round for the side of Somerset.
Match point.
Yeah, there's unfortunately not too much to say as we go to match point here. It's just kind of been a little bit, Jarrett B said a tiny bit lopsided, unfortunately, and call it just the player difference. There's a lot of unknowns. There's this Bishop Carroll squad is like a new fresh squad, right? There's not a, I'm not going to say a high skill talent because that's not even true. But there are some low ranked players, and unfortunately that doesn't always mean anything, but it does give a general idea of where you place. And when you have a couple of irons going up against, an immortal, it just kind of tends to be a tough spot.
Yeah, you have to give credit where credit is due. First pick already going off once again to Hibu, and Bishop Carroll has to do something here. And they got to do something like ASAP. I don't know what they can do, but they got to do something.
Well, they need to watch their flank because here comes Hibui coming on that flank, immediately finding one. We'll get traded for the second though, and that's the space control we were kind of talking about. Somerset has just had control of the space the whole game, and now that they are kind of boxed into this corner, it's just the way it's going to be. Like, this is it. This is the closing moment. Let's see who gets those shots. Eric will kind of peek and unfortunately get caught out there, and that's going to buy them some time to rotate and get a way out. They have them surrounded, though. They know it's just they're just playing with their food at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the Sage Wall is there, buying them some time, and Blind just goes a little bit slightly wrong there, I'm guessing, or got blinded by the other Omen. Something happened there when Italian Skimmer was blind. I think the best option, if they were to do something, would be to rotate over to, I was going to say Eric, but now time is ticking, and you have to hit a site if you're going to commit. Yes, Eric does go down, as well as glitching out, but it's now down to 14 seconds on the board. Italian Schemo needs to do something, and I think
the answer is the answer is live to see another day. Even if it ends the game, the answer is to live and see another day. They're going to make a desperate dash to B, but unfortunately it is not going to be at B. So you know what? It was a good run for Bishop Carroll. I would have loved to have seen more of the attack, but Somerset just had a dominant performance, unfortunately, and also fortunately for them.
Yeah, when it's your turn, it is your turn, and Somerset just had that luck. And the player base on their side as we end off with 29 and 3 deaths for Hibui. And just mind blown here.
Combat score of 552, and everybody, the next closest was 223. Hibui had 9 more kills, unfortunately, than the entirety of the Huskies. So I might be back on the one person can carry entire team theory here. Still debatable, still up in the air, but I think, this is still week 1. There's still a lot to do. There's still a lot of teams. Somerset is in a great position to go forward for this season, though, with a teamwork like that and play like that and an interesting comp like that. They look to be in a position to give themselves an advantage going forward. And I would be curious to see, and hopefully we'll get to see, what happens as we go later down.
Yeah, with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to bring you the third match after this break. Go grab some drink, maybe a little bit of snack, and we shall see you back.
need you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Say sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
The fire makes the city look so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay while we leave. Stay with me. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me.
welcome back. We hope your break has served you well. We just saw Bishop Row Huskies versus Somerset Golden Eagles, where Somerset Golden Eagles were just as golden. 13-2 was the scoreline, but we have to move on, and that is going to be the Windber Wranglers versus Moshannon Valley Knights. I'm sorry for that. Why don't you take us over on the players there?
Yeah, so over there for the Ramblers, well, this is going to be interesting because you're not going to be able to really tell by the names, but we've got 5 young gentlemen there. We've got Garrett, we've got Chris, we've got Ben, Andrew, and Raymond. We're going to have to look at them by their agent names because there's no real way to distinguish them. There's no definitive names. But the same goes for the other side and the Gaming Knights. We have Alex, Jaden, Teddy, Dylan, and Austin all looking to throw their hat in the rings. And we've seen a lot of skill disparity between the day, and I think it speaks to the quality of all the players. That's right. We've seen everything from Iron to Immortal and everything in between, and I think it's really fascinating to see how these games shake out because we've seen teams with great teamwork come out on top. We've seen teams with just a carry come out on top, and I think I'm really curious to see what happens in Game 3. I've been fascinated by this whole experience every single game.
The Game 3 is going to be happening over onto Breeze, a map we haven't casted. I love the variety of maps. We were just talking about this. So variety is key here, especially for us casters to get a little entertained and seeing the different team compositions that they could bring out. What team composition do you want to see going into Breeze here?
Oh man, well, it's going to be interesting because this is such a large map. You can do a lot, and I would just say the sky is beautiful, and also it's likely sky will be beautiful here because there's a lot to see here. But as we look at these, I see a lot of interesting things here. The Phoenix over on the side of, I believe that's the Knights, is an interesting pick. And Brimstone, my lad, my boy, we are picking old school here. This is a beta comp. I love that. I'm curious to see how that plays here. And we kind of see the Viper, we see the Sovas. Those are pretty expected. The Viper and the double initiator looks pretty good for the side of Windber, the Ramblers. That looks pretty good. That's about what I would have expected because you like having that information. Being able to get the information before you go in is so crucial. But there's so much wild card here on the side of Moshannon Valley. So I'm very curious to see how this shakes up.
They have, I want to say they have an attacker composition, right? With your Soba, with the double duelist. So if they can secure maybe even like 4 to 5 rounds on the side of attack, they will be able, if they can hold it down on defense, it will go to their advantage. Because like we talked about, for the side of Moshannon here, wait.
Yeah.
Windber.
Moshannon is on attack, yeah.
Moshannon is on attack. Windber is on defense. They also have an attacker-sided composition. So we need them to be able to get a couple rounds on defense in order for their attacking composition to be successful.
So
but A site is going to be the it site.
So the one thing that Moshannon does have on their side here is this Brimstone allows for this quick initiation. They can find the information, drop their smokes, and immediately just have the ability to go in. And unfortunately, they haven't done that, as now they're down 3-2, and it's the game's up. They know they're over on A. They haven't quite done it, and there it is. There's this Brimstone's come down. Unfortunately, not enough time to get picked, and that will be the jet from the side of Windber Ramblers to getting to 3, opening this up.
Oh, but it's going to be the Brimmy able to secure 1 kill here. Still a Sheriff in hand. 50 health and a Dream. The Guiding Light going to go out, going to blind him. He's going to peek full blinded and going to be taken down here as Windber gets their first point on the board.
Yeah, a good defense, a good solid defense, and they were able to play that and slow and control it. Again, I think Moshannon Valley's key to success here is going to be these quick executes. You have a Brimstone who can just cut sightlines off immediately. Use your Sova, find some information, give yourself that advantage, and then the second you know what you want to do, just unload all of your utility, get in, plant, and then set yourself up for that success. And I think they can do that. I think there's still a chance, given this comp, and with a Marshall in hand on both sides, they're looking for a couple different things. Double shotgun, very interesting though for Moshannon Valley. They want to play close range. They want to take these fights. So expect to see playing in smokes, I think, over on B side.
One enemy remains.
Oh man, but it's going to be the Sky bringing down some hell onto Moshannon Valley here as they are able to take down 3, and it's going to be the Jet still alive with the Marshall and a Dream in hand.
But the walls are slowly closing in on this poor Jet, as it were, and there's going to be the last pick. And yeah, smokes. Yeah, you gotta, again, when you know what you want to do, I like the ideas that Moshannon Valley are presenting with us, right? They're presenting these really good quick engages, and they need a little tweak on the execution, and we're good to go. And I think they are making some choices that are very interesting. So I'm very curious to see. You have this double marshal, very interesting look. You have these sight lines, you have the guardian. There's a lot of things you can do here, and I don't know what to make of it, to be quite honest.
Shannon Valley has the mentality of we don't stop and we won't stop even spending our money at this point. They're going to go for a very janky buy, as I like to call it, going on over onto a site. They're going to make use of that Viper's wall to help them get onto site. As you can see, Sage is their entry for this team, and Sage is officially on site. The Jet is going to be lurking up mid-nest, which I actually like, but unfortunately gets caught out by the Sky, who's actually doing the same as he is, lurking about.
Yeah, and that's, again, the space control that's kind of there. But there will be a pick for the Sova with that Frenzy, so there is at least one, and unfortunately they'll get cleaned up very quickly. And it was an interesting kind of spread push here, but those kind of pushes require patience. You need to be able to take your time, especially with a double marshal. You shouldn't be rushing in. If your Brimstone's rushing in with that judge like they were looking at, that's fine, but that needs to be a diversion so you can pick off the rotation. And as you said, Cute Noob, what am I looking at here? There's an Odin in the hands of the Phoenix. I just don't know what to make of this right now.
Once again, the mentality of we won't stop and we can't stop for the side of Moshannon Valley. They want to get a kill and they're going to do anything to get it, but it's going to be the Reyna from Windber who's going to be getting off that pick off of Jet here, and the Spike is now left to wonder where do they want to go, as they know that the Reyna's holding off this angle, able to get picked off. The both Soba and Reyna doing a little wombo here over at Nest, but it's gonna be the Phoenix making some action happen, accidentally blinding his teammate. A little oopsie doopsie happening out there as he gets picked off. Just Windber taking over every angle they can.
Yeah, it's okay, Phoenix. I also carry an Odin and flash myself frequently, so I entirely understand that feeling. Don't worry, it gets a little better and easier. And I like the determination from the side of Moshannon Valley. I think they need a little bit, I think the communication just needs to come in a little bit more clutch, and they can pull this together. But I have to say the Ramblers have looked very good. They're controlling all these spaces. They're looking really good. They're communicating well. They're saying, okay, we need help here. We see them here. Let's rotate around. And they're forcing control of this huge map that, quite frankly, Moshannon Valley's just kind of giving them for free.
Yeah, they hit one site and one site only. It's going to be the Sky from Windber here, flashing out the whole gang, giving away the position, and now it's going to give enough time for the Viper to rotate over and create a super flank.
Yeah, there's that long flank coming in. They're going to buy it, and we will see the Sky find the pick, looking for two, does find the second. They're kind of boxed in now, and there's the Brim ult coming out, just going to force those angles, but those Seekers will come through too, and that will be the go button on both sides to try and make some value here. And that long flank from the Viper absolutely coming in big here. And there's the last pick just to clean it up.
A lot of choices being made there. A lot of ultimates being spent there, Soab. We saw the Seekers coming out. We even saw the Brimstone ult coming down as well. Unfortunately, didn't get as much value as Moshannon Valley wanted. But they got closer to getting into sight.
You know, I'm here for Moshannon Valley. This is my spirit animal team because they are here. They're having fun, even if they're not succeeding. They're buying stuff they want. They're having fun, and I respect that. I one day long to have fun in Valorant just like them, and we will see if they can have fun and maybe get around here coming up, because that's going to be a Viper's Pit immediately putting a push onto that A site just over.
Yes, indeed, as well as the barrier here, maybe giving them a little bit of security going into this Viper's Pit, but that's not going to be the case because Reyna is just ready to end it all, as well as Jay here getting two picks of their own. And last man standing is going to be the Phoenix with a Marshall and a Dream, but gets blinded out by the Reyna, and the finish goes off there for Windber, able to have a successful round yet what again, and just building that economy. Talk about lots of money in the bank.
I mean, they are they are looking pretty much full on. They really haven't had to buy much of anything for these last few rounds, and hey, good on them. They are looking pretty good. And meanwhile, Moshannon Valley, like I said, like they are trying. It might be worth at some point considering the full eco. Just take the pistol round, save your money, come back, get a full like, just a reset. Let's get back to basics here for Moshannon Valley. Let's just take a pistol. Let's eat the loss and then reset. Get some rifles in our hands, get some armor, and then just reset again. Because in the meantime, we're just gonna see the Ramblers just kind of meandering wherever they would like to go and continuing to hold these spaces so well.
Yeah, that's not gonna be the case this time around though, Soeb. They're gonna full on buy whatever they can and get onto site, but it's gonna be the Soba with the operator getting that first pick onto Brimmy. Then Viper taking a turn at it, getting 2. He goes, hey, you get 1 Soba, I'll get 2. Let's see what the Jet can do. The Jet already securing 1. It's a fight versus Soba. And I like the honor there being brought out by the Soba from Windber, taking out the Frenzy. He's like, hey, you have a shorty, let me take out my Frenzy. We'll see who wins at this point.
That's actually really, it's good. It's nice you point that out, because there could have been just a point where they are just, been disrespectful. They at least acknowledge that, hey, I see you're kind of just short up. Let me fight you on your level. There's something to be had for that. And speaking of fighting on our levels, a lot of shotguns out here for the side of Moshannon Valley. I like this idea. Use it, but make sure you get those smokes out. Make sure you drop them and you give yourself the ability to create and live in this chaos. You need to be in a close range environment for those to find success. And right now, you haven't really put yourself into them, and that's going to be just a warning shot out there.
Yeah, Sage using the barrier to help their team get some security, but it's going to be Sky who's just going to full send it. Reloading happening. This is the chance that you were talking about, but unfortunately unable to connect here is going to be the Sage, and a flawless coming out for the side of Windber. Definitely adding up to their lead, 8-0.
This could look like our first perfect half of the season if at this rate keeps up. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but hey, there's a big achievement going in a bit on both sides of that, right? Because having that first super successful 12-0 half is a big deal. But if you need to look at the inspiration of a team who's struggled and come back, like look at Overwatch and the Shanghai Dragons. They absolutely were a down and out team, and there's still a chance for anybody to turn it around. So Moshannon Valley could just be having a tough day, could be any number of things. And there's, there are some days where even just one round is a success. And that, unfortunately, will not be for that Jet.
Yeah, Brimmy trying to get a peek here, but that's not going to be the case. Viper's going to say, hey, you can't run away from me. Now it's going to be the Jet's turn to take this gunfight. Jet here getting that second pick. It looked like Viper was going down for a second there, Soab.
It was close. It's on there, and Phoenix does have this. We'll probably get Bomb down. I think this is it. Bomb is down. Just has to outlive this 1v5, and I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles.
Absolutely. The run it back is going to come out to help him out, but unfortunately Sky's just a little smarter than that and going to be getting the pick off. You were talking about the little victories here, Soab, and the little victory is going to be that plant.
Yeah, that plant is huge. That's money towards whatever Moshannon Valley wants to buy here. And you know what? I think sometimes just being able to buy what you want. I also, as a millennial, long to buy whatever I want. So I hope that dream on them as well.
That is going to be buying them an Ares, an Odin, and a Spectre so far. Let's see what Phoenix decides to buy here on this round. They do have 3 ultimates on the side of Moshannon Valley, as we can see the Hunter's Fury, the Blade Storm, even a Resurrection if things get a little bit on their side. But on the side of Windber, like you stated, their bank is growing and growing and growing.
2 ops of their own, and then addition to their own ultimates, and that's going to be 2 for the Sova. Meanwhile, just unfortunately lining up, and that's going to be the Odin getting out of sights there, trying to buy that out. Can't quite get her on the wall. The Empress active, trying to find it, but that is going to be the Odin just firing out, never found, and unfortunately, that's going to bring it up to 10-0 for the side of the Ramblers.
Key things to come out from this game for all of you guys watching is have fun with the game. Sometimes it's just fun to have fun with the game. Buy whatever you want. experiment with the different guns. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing here from the side of Moshannon Valley is them experimenting with the guns they want, because sometimes you don't get that opportunity, right? People sometimes take this game a little too serious and they're like, you have to buy this at this exact time. And we're just seeing a whole complete different side of Valorant at this point, Soab.
Absolutely. This is the kind of side of Valorant that you don't always get to see, because this is, let's be real, like this is a high school esport level thing. People are expecting this to be a big deal, but you know what if it just wasn't? What if we're just here to vibe and have fun and try it out? What if we're just learning the game? And you know what, we're gonna yeet these from the distance and see if we can find all from the back corner of spawn. And that Sova will unfortunately not find anything with that Hunter's Fury, but we'll just keep looking. This Phoenix, and I will say, has been last to die several times, so good on them for that. But yet another flawless coming in for the side of the Ramblers. And like you said, we're here to have fun at this point, and I hope both teams are having fun.
I mean, double operator on the side of Windber might definitely indicate that they are. As you can see, they're just pushing out at this point and taking the kills and adding some kills to their stats at this moment. I'm excited to see Windber versus Summit.
Oh yeah, that's
gonna be that's gonna be a really good matchup. Something for you guys to look forward to in the future. But so far, we're on to the 12th round. You called it before, so this might be the 12-0 that we've longed to see.
Yeah, that's maybe the first one. And yeah, these later weeks are going to be very fascinating when you see some of these teams and the skills catch up. But that's going to be the Brimstone that come out, does buy a little space, but accidentally takes out their own Sage. Oh no, that's unfortunate friendly fire on their part. Dad, please don't. That will be the shorty just looking for anything and does not find anything.
Yeah.
Well, Q New, what do we expect going into the first defense round here? Are we done? Is this it already? Unfortunately.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, like, their team composition for the most part is built for defense. You have the Sage to hold off A main, you have the Brim to hold off B, and then you can have your Soba, dart mid to give you some information of where they are if they happen to be mid. But I don't know, with Moshannon Valley, it's a loose cannon. They can do whatever they want to do at this point.
And that's the thing, is there's an air of unpredictability, but you can see they're ready. They kind of have a feeling they know where they're coming from, and this is going to be a quick rush at them to try to put some value out there. I'm here for Moshannon Valley's first round win. Let's go. Finally does find two. They find some trades. It's even right now. There's a little bit of an advantage for the Ramblers, but you know what? This is pretty good for them. They've nearly doubled their kill count from the entire game.
They have indeed two men standing. It's going to be the Soba and the Brim going to be going on that super flank while Soba holds him off of him. And it's going to be Windber pushing out into CT, playing what is supposed to be the defender's role at this time. But they have seen Soba, and they're going to just full rush at this point, because why not? And we're going to finish it with a banger here, so a knife.
Yep, it's going to be, there's talk about putting the knife in to finish it, and I think there's no other way it could be done. And, I will say that was one of the score aside, that was an enjoyable game to cast and watch. So I had fun. I hope the teams had fun. And, we're not going to talk about the scoreboard right now. We don't need to talk about that. We know the winners and the losers. Did we have fun today? And I ask you that as a question. Cool, cute new. Did we have fun today?
Absolutely. It's a sight to see. It's a treat. I'm sure I won't be seeing that for a very long time. So thank you so much to Moshannon Valley.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see that anytime soon, but I'm here for it. And speaking of anytime soon, that's going to be it for us. So we'll be back hopefully next week for even more. But there's still a lot more going on. So starting tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, the esports company High School League's Rocket League season kickoff. If you like this, if you like these kinds of games, Rocket League's great. Their Division 1 is going to be taking place over on Twitch.tv, the esport company, and the Division 2, which I assume is their lesser one, their lower ELO brackets, will be over right here on the TEC High School League. You can hit ! socials to follow the esports company, High School Leagues on all their places, and you can hit ! casters for us if you want to see more of us and what we do in our downtime. But thank you all from myself, Sovdanum, Cute Noob, and Uki over in the booth. Thank you all for some wonderful games today, and we will see you hopefully next time for even more.
I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I'm cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this.